On the phone now with the head coach of the Mountain View Buffaloes, that is Brent Walk. And, of course, they've won 2 of the last 3 Class 2A state championships, the defending state champions. And I know, Brent, you guys lost a lot, but you're off to a 4-1 start, 4-0, and leading the 2A West Conference right now. What if your team that's kind of a little different than what you've had the last few seasons?
Coming into this season, we graduated a very good class. That last year's team probably is the best team I've ever coached in 28 years. Our senior class, this is actually my biggest senior class that I've had in 9 years now. And we knew coming in, we had talent. We have, we like to think we have speed. And our kids in the off season, man, they've absolutely killed it. So we're a different type of team. We're still running all of our same systems and everything, and maybe just a little bit less explosive. But our kids are working extremely hard.
Seems like defensively, though, you guys are pretty tough, especially against the pass.
And I think that goes back to, we like our team speed and our athleticism, and we've got, we've got fast guys all over the field, and then, obviously we kind of like our schemes or we wouldn't be running them. So, the kids have really responded, and it's kind of funny, going throughout the last 5 weeks or so, people are talking to me about inexperience. And, we only returned 2 starters on offense and defense from our 2019 team. But, the inexperience, excuse now is absolutely over. We're into the 6 weeks of the season, and so we're considering now that we're definitely an experienced team, and the kids have really responded. I think we've gotten better each and every week.
You do have a couple of guys that I remember, at least off that team, Ashton Schofield being one. But what have you seen out of kind of your new signal caller and Connor Michaeli and his development thus far this season, Brent?
Yeah, that's a great question. And he's been, Connor has been, number one, he's a competitor. He's a great kid, had a great off season. And what I love about him, probably more than anything, even more than his, pure quarterback skills, is the kid's a competitor, and he's a great leader on and off the field, and so he's steadily progressed. And the more reps, because last year he was actually injured all the way up until the playoffs, so he didn't get any reps at all last year as a Q, and he stepped in and has done an outstanding job. And again, with all of the guys on our team right now, each and every week, and we talk about this all the time, David. That we need to make sure we're getting better day by day, rep by rep, and the kids really bought into it. And Connor is a perfect example of that. He's like night and day compared to when he started the season.
You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Hunter Meeks is one of the guys that you brought back, especially on the defensive side, and I see that he and Sam Porter kind of leading you from a defensive points perspective. What are you seeing from your defense right now, Brent?
Well, right now, yeah, and it is Hunter. Hunter's been a two-way starter for us for 3 years now. He started for us in 2017 too, or 2018, sorry. But what we love about our defense is we put a huge emphasis on swarming to the ball, being aligned correctly, and and Sam has had Sam last year started for us, and then he got hurt towards the 2/3 through the season, and he wasn't able to finish the season, but he's doing a great job at the linebacker spot. But then going back to Hunter, we moved Hunter outside to play defensive end. The last 2 years he's played tackle, and again he's a huge leader on our team on both sides of the ball. And we knew coming in that Hunter we were planning on him to have an excellent senior year, and he hasn't disappointed us at all.
Let's talk about the big matchup. You get the 5th-ranked Punchers coming to town on Friday afternoon. What do you see when you see Coach Visser's squad?
Well, number one, Coach Visser, man, he's done an outstanding job, and he's only been there 2 years, and their schemes are solid, and they've got some very good football players. Obviously, I'm impressed with their quarterback, number 15, but they've got some good receivers that he's throwing to. They're good route runners. They're doing good things up front. So we definitely know we have our hands full, but our goal against everybody is to come out and play Mountain View football and kind of see what happens. But yeah, we know we have our hands full, and they've got some very good football players.
It's interesting, Brent. Both of you guys are top 2 in pass defense, and I know you like to have that balance, but that will be interesting. Is it maybe one of those situations where who can make the other a little more one-dimensional on Friday?
Yeah, it very well could be. As far as our offense, we are, and it's getting better each and every week in terms of depending on what the defense is giving us, we're either going to run the ball or pass the ball. And in past years, we've been very, very effective in that, So it very well could be, And obviously, number one thing we're doing is, the quarterback is, he's got a cannon for an arm. He's got great size. He's got great strength. So, we know absolutely we're going to have to, keep their offense in front of us and not give up big plays. And, everything they get, we want to make sure they earn.
With that, Brent, I appreciate your time. Best of luck against Big Piney in our WyoPreps Game of the Week.
All right, I appreciate it, David. Thank you very much.
On the phone with me is the head coach of the Big Piney Punchers. That is Ryan Visser. It's part of our WyoPreps Game of the Week. It's in Class 2A with 5th-ranked Big Piney going to top-ranked Mountain View on Friday. And, Coach, thank you so much for your time today. Coming off, I know, a tough loss against Lovell last week, but right now you're sitting second in the conference standings at 3-1. You're 4-1 overall. What have you seen from your squad here through the first 5 games of 2020?
Overall, I've been very happy and pleased with the effort of the guys. It's second year being in the program, kind of really seeing my culture and kind of the identity I want starting to form, and I'm glad it's starting to pay off with some wins. Kids have really played hard. They've definitely shown some mental toughness with a couple of close games. Being able to win those is tough. Pretty resilient group, and I'm excited to see them play the number 1 team in the state.
What has it been like in practice this week trying to bounce back off that first loss of the season last week?
It's been an interesting one. I'm kind of new to the smaller school kind of playing, and we've had to kind of take it easy this week. We've been pretty lucky so far this season with injuries, but last Friday, besides playing a very, very good quality opponent, the injury bugs finally caught up to us and hit us, so kind of had to take it easy this week as far as contact, so we've really had to stress fundamentals and stress the mental part of the game, a lot of film, make sure everyone knows their jobs. Mountain View is a very, very well-coached team. They throw a lot of fronts at you, very different offensive schemes that we've so far seen this year. So really make sure everyone's dialed in and knowing their responsibilities, their jobs, their alignment, and then, getting them pumped up to play number 1 team and be resilient like they have all year, and have a chance to show a different type of mental toughness, and that's how you respond after, a tough loss.
Talk a little bit about one of your key guys on your team, Caden, I want to say Raza, hopefully I'm saying that correctly, returning quarterback, but I know he's a two-way player from you. What have you seen in his development now in his second year in your system?
Well, it's a lot. It's hard enough to play quarterback on, Madden, let alone real life. And to be honest, when I first got here, he was mainly used all of his junior high and early high school years as a read option, triple option quarterback. Coming into my scheme, very, very different. And so he's had to grow a lot, learn how to read a defense, read progressions. He's got all the physical tools that you could want in a quarterback. It's just trying to get that together with mechanics and the more mental side of the game. He's come a long ways, and it's really exciting to see him kind of take that next step. And both sides, like you said, to be honest, defensively, it's where he's really improved even more so. I haven't checked recently, but I know he was in the top 3 or so in defensive points in the state going into last week. So he's definitely not just a quarterback that plays some defense. He's a true two-way player that really does anchor our team on both sides.
What about the development of Liam Hughes? He actually going into this game will lead you in defensive points. I think he's up to over 21 per game, but it seems like he has a nose for the football based upon some of his tackles for loss, his sacks. He's got a couple of interceptions, a fumble recovery, even a couple block kicks, and a touchdown on defense in there for you.
He's come a long ways as well. He wasn't what we'd say natural or instinctive at linebacker as much last year, and we really worked on that, and he worked on really trying to get a feel for the game and really putting in some good time with film, understanding what the offense wants to do and therefore where he needs to be. And he's come up big in some big moments, and he's really kind of the energizer of the defense, and gets everyone set and leads the charge. And I'm super pleased with him, and he knows he's only really scratching the surface of his potential. If he just keeps putting in the work, he could have a really, really special year.
You mentioned it a little bit earlier, but you're going up against the defending state champs, #1 team in our poll this week in Mountain View. What do you look at even more than what you kind of mentioned already, Coach Visser, with just, what you see from Mountain View on film and what they're going to bring at you?
They're #1 for a reason, and they're the defending champs, and they're the champs till someone takes it from them. And like I said already, but they're very well coached. Coach Walk knows what he's doing, obviously, and you're never going to see them out of position or caught by surprise or playing bad technique. They're very well coached, so you can't beat yourself against them because they're not going to do you any favors, and they're not going to beat themselves. So a very well-disciplined team. They have speed. We've played a few teams in a row now with a lot of really good size, and this is more of a speed team. They've got really good team speed, so you got to be able to match that. And like I mentioned, they are very multiple, both on offense and defense. They'll give you different looks of what they're trying to do. Again, going back to just being really well coached, so we've got to be able to move on the fly and make decisions quickly. And besides that, Mountain View just kind of has that it factor.
Okay.
Part of the program that coach has built. A lot of teams, quite frankly, I think go into the week kind of already beat because it's Mountain View. So they have that mental edge. It's a whole new team than last year, but there's #1 still. So you got to take out that mental edge as well.
It's a wild, wild year in 2A football where it seems like from one week to the next, no one is quite for sure what's going on, and that goes for your conference and even the 2A East. I mean, as you look at things in 2A right now, kind of coming down the home stretch, what do you need to see out of your team to kind of put yourself in that best position possible, Coach?
He nailed it. I told them this week, guys, we're kind of in a college football playoff kind of run right now.
Okay.
Where almost every week is almost like a playoff. We could be in a really good position this week. If we do our job and get it done and get a win, we could be in a really good spot for #1. If we lose this week, we could be in a playoff game basically to get into the playoffs. That's just how crazy it is right now. So every week it's kind of a must-win. You need to take that mentality that whoever we end up playing right now, it's playoffs or bust almost with each win or loss. And going into the playoffs, it's, like you said, it's very deep. I think whatever 8 teams make it, it's not going to be exactly a normal year of a really, really top-heavy couple teams and the rest. It's a pretty even, fun year to be a fan and watching.
Absolutely. Well, with that, I will let you go. Best of luck Friday against Mountain View, and thanks for kind of helping me spotlight the Big Piney Puncher program.
Thank you so much.